Please turn your cell phones off or on silent mode, please.
Please join me in that show. Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs.
Welcome to the October Shotsuki. We'll start the service with Mokuso, silent meditation, followed by the Shomyo. Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs. We'll now have Shomyo.
No, we just did.
Oh, we just did that, sorry. We'll go on to Vandana and Tisarana on page 325.
For those of you who are able to, please rise. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. Dhamma saranam gacchami. I go to the Dharma for guidance. Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Please remain standing as we'll read the homages in Tisarana, which is on page 11, and we'll be doing this both in English and Japanese. 英語と日本語の3期もいただきたいと思います。紫の聖典の11ページと10ページ目になっています。まず英語でいただきます。Homages. Hard it is to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult it is to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we are hearing them. If we do not gain emancipation in the present life, we may not be free from the sorrow in the ocean of births and deaths. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures. We go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. Everyone? We go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. We go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. Everyone? We go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. We go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Everyone? We go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriads of kalpas, hard it is to hear such excellent and profound teachings. Now we are able to hear and receive them. Let us try to understand the Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Please be seated. Huh? Oh, Nihongo. Sorry, I forgot the Japanese. Yes. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu. Oh, you can stay seated. Don't have to go up and down. Sorry. Thank you for the reminder. 日本語忘れてました。それでは日本語で三期もいただきたいと思います。三期も人参受けがたし今すでに受く仏法を聞きがたし今すでに聞くこの身根性に向かってどせずんまさらにいずれの章に向かってかこの身をどせん来週もろともに指針に参謀に帰依し立てまするべし自ら仏に帰依し立てまするまさに願わくは主情とともに大道を体現して無常を起こさん自ら法に帰依し立てまするまさに願わくは主情とともに深く共造に入りて知恵海のごとくならん自ら僧に帰依し立てまするまさに願わくは主情とともに大衆を通りして一切無限ならん無常人人未明の方は百千万号にも愛用ことかたし我今検問し授受すること得たり願わくは如来の真実義を仕立てますらんと。ナマンダプス、ナマンダプス、ナマンダプス、ナマンダプス。Now, please be seated.
We'll have the sutra chanting, Sambujo followed by the Amida Kyo. I will be calling on the Shotsuki families during this. Thank you.
No more knobs, no more knobs, no more knobs, no more knobs, no more knobs. No more knobs.本日ここにうやうやしく三仏牽制の奨学を仰ぎ、慎みてスティーストン仏教会2024年の10月小月法要並びにカナダ教団記念日を言収す。如来エコーの真実心をもって法恩の誠をいたし、仏徳を賛嘆したてまつる願わくは如来の大慈大悲心をもって無料の功徳一切主情の上にエコーして回らんことを。ナモ帰依仏、ナモ帰依法、ナモ帰依僧。 This morning, we have gathered here in the quietude of Amida's temple to commemorate the October 2024 Shotsuki monthly memorial service, in which we remember loved ones who have passed on during this month of October. Also, in conjunction, we commemorate the 2024 Canada Jodo Shinshin Buddhist Temples of Canada Day, in which we acknowledge and recognize our national organization. We faithfully recite the Nembutsu and humbly join our hands in Gassho. May the fragrance of incense teach us the purity of our intentions. May the beauty of the flowers offered remind us of the glory of the Dhamma. And may the lights that burn brightly upon the altar lead our thoughts to Amida's eternal light of wisdom and boundless compassion that dispels the darkness of our ignorance.
りありしゃこしゃくしゅめのみがじぎししじゅれんげ三よしゃりしょしきしょこしきよこしゃくしきしゃこしゃくしきぴゃこみみょこけずしゃりよずこくらこくどしょじゅにょせくどくしょこくしゃりよずいぶずこくどにょさねんくおがいじちゅやろくじにゆまんだらけごごくしゅじょじょいしょたんかぐいえごくじょしゅみょけつよたおじゅまのぐぶずとぐいじきじげんのほんごくぼんじきぎょぎょしゃりよずごくらごくどじょじゅにょせくどくしょごんぶししゃりよずいこくじょぶしゅじゅきみょさしきしちょびゃこくじゅおむしゃりかりょびんがくみょしちょぜしょしゅちょちゅやろくじすいわげごごえんちょごごごりしじぼだいぶあしょどぶんにょせとごどしゅじょもぜよにかいじずねんぶずねんもねんそしゃりよずよもずいじちょしずぜだいよしょしょしょいしゃがいぶずごくどむさまぐしゅしゃりよずごぶずごくどしょむさまぐどしみょがぎょぶじずぜしょしゅしょかいてあみだぶずよくりょうせんるへんげしょさしゃりよずいぶずごくどみずずいろしょごじゅじゅおらもすいみみょうりにょやくせんじゅがぐどじくさもんせおんじゃかいじねんじょねんぶねんぼねんそしししゃりよずごぶずごくどじょうじゅにょせくどくしょうごしゃりよず
Will the following representatives come please for Shoko? Arakawa Gali, Antonio. Asano Hisako. There are two burners, Asari Some, Asari Yoshio, Ayukawa Michiko, Hao Junko, Hamaguchi Yoshiko, Hamanishi Kiyoshi, Hamanishi Masayo, 木田明、堀正恵、今井房夫、井上美代、井上よし子、生田新女、石田文子、掛日恵美子、鎌地庄司、鎌地正夫、狩野ゆり子、刈谷真末、刈谷鶴子、木村源次郎、岸内重和、国保信、近藤敏夫、小柳静、松村静子、松本よし子、松尾二代、松下千恵子、宮崎高木高明、水口忠、水口幸雄、森勇、向井房子、村尾余一、中根リサ、中野和夫、中田ジョン、中谷増江、中塚高皿、夏原東洋、中鶴秀子、成羽早恵、西陽子、西梨紗子ロージー、西常蔵、西義之助、錦浜慶三、庭付の時地、庭付の茂、野村冬美、 正雄野村
世界有縁現物最小物
小森愛子
一生物工業物
井上和子大岡正弘トニ佐伯武吉酒井リリアン酒井澄鮫島栄三鮫島典子塩崎清美塩路昇鈴木愛子竹内マーガレット田中隆夫谷上森春谷口米田坂初江寺西茂子山本愛子山本熊野山本米山中真澄吉田康一吉田豊
切世間世死難心死よ聖人南部世死教医者利を救助ビク一切世間天にアシュラと文部諸説歓喜真珠さらいにこ仏説阿弥陀経
We will now have the Dharma talk by Reverend Ikuta.
Good morning, everyone. 皆さんおはようございます。Welcome to this October Shotsuki monthly memorial service. October is also the month in which we commemorate the national organization, the Jodo Shinshu Buddhist Temples of Canada. You might have noticed at the beginning of the chanting, I sort of bit my tongue. We've been having the BC Federation convention last weekend, so I was thinking BC, but it's the national organization that we're commemorating. So I'm going to speak both in English and Japanese as we have a joint service today. So I'm going to say a few words in Japanese first and then in English following. 皆さんようこそおはようございます。ようこそ本日の2024年10月小月法要並びに教団記念日法要にお参りしていただきました。この教団記念日っていうのは10月にですねバンクーバーで10月5日だったかな一番最初にですね1905年に佐々木千住先生という方が奥さんと共にバンクーバーに来られてそしてそこで10月に初めてのお参りが行われたのでそれを記念として毎年この教団記念日というのを行われています。ここスティーブストンではですね1928年に初めてのお寺がスティーブストンのモンクトンとファーストアベニューのちょっと2軒南側にですね初めてのお寺があったわけなんですが その前からもこのスティーブストンではお参りが行われていました。というのは、その1928年まではですね、それまではバンクーバーから僧侶が来て、そして、しばらくは熱木、雑貨屋の2階を借りて、部屋を借りて、そこでお参りを行われていました。また当時の方々の工夫というか、記録に残されているのには、仏壇ですね、ちょうど家庭用の仏壇みたいな、ここの納骨堂にある仏壇みたいなのに、このですね、腰にかけるようにストラップを工夫して、それを持って各メンバーの方の家で持ち回りでお参りされてたっていう記録もある。それだけ皆さん熱心にお参りされてたわけなんですね。で、それこうずっと今まで、1928年からずっと今までですね、このスティーブストン、戦争中以外スティーブストンでお寺が存在されているわけなんです。そしてお参りも続けられています。そして今日の正月法要みたいに毎月ですね、亡くなられた多くの方々を忍びこうやってお参りさせていただいているんですが、この皆さんと一緒に集まることがどうして大事かと申しますと、やはりこのおかげさまで皆さんともう一度再会し、亡くなられた方ともちろん再会されるんですが、また同じですね、念仏者、また友達、長い間会ってなかった友達とも会えたりして、この大切な意義がそこにあるのではないかと。で、この阿弥陀経、先ほどいただいた阿弥陀経のですね、一番最後にですね、こういうふうに書かれています。仏、この経を説きたもうこと終わりて、舎利発および諸々のビク、一切世間の天人アシュラと仏の諸説を聞きて歓喜し信受して来をなして去りにきと書かれています。というのはこの阿弥陀経を聞いてですね、そこに集まった舎利発っていう一番年配の弟子だった舎利発をはじめに多くの僧侶たち、またそこに集まってた天、また人間、すべてのものがですね、これを聞いて歓喜したっていうんですね。で、この歓喜という言葉を親鸞聖人はですね、歓喜ということは、歓喜というは、歓は身を喜ばしむるなり、喜は、心に喜ばしむるなり、うべきことを得たんずと兼ねて先より喜ぶ心なりと。ですから、この阿弥陀様の呼び声を聞いて、阿弥陀様の御教しを聞いて、身と心から喜ぶのが歓喜であると。で、この阿弥陀経を皆さんと一緒に聞きながら、ああ、そうだ、この亡くなられた多くの方々のおかげさまで、私ももう一度この仏縁、仏と出会うことができ、本当に嬉しいことであり、また皆さんと再会できることは本当に喜ばしいことであり、感謝の心を持って念仏を唱えさせていただけるわけでございます。最後になりますと、もう一度念仏を唱えて日本語の方に変えさせていただきたいと思います。ナモアンダブス、ナモアミダブス、ナモアンダブス、ナモアンダブス。I notice there's some children here. Would you like to hear a story? Yes? Come on up to the front. You can bring your dad with you or your mom or there's some in the back, I think. Oh, did they disappear? Are they still here? No, they disappeared. Okay. Well, I'll tell you a story if you... Do you want to come up too? Yeah, come on. Ava? Zen. Zen. Oh, and your name is? Karina. Oh, well, welcome. So they call me Reverend Brad around here. Okay. Some of my formal title is Reverend Ikuta, but I always think of, when I think of Reverend Ikuta, I think of my father, my grandfather. So they think I said, no, just call me Reverend Brad. Okay. So, welcome. You know, in our Buddhist teachings, there are many, many stories that talk about, that help us to learn and learn about what the teachings mean. And so I'm going to tell you a very famous story. And have you ever, what grade are you? Grade 5. Okay, maybe you're lucky. Yeah. There's a very famous story called The Gift of the Magi. Have you ever heard of that? It's a short story. You might have to take it. I wonder if they do that in curriculum anymore. Where's our teachers? Maybe still have. Anyways, this story, I think, might be the beginning of where that story came from. And what this story is about. So, long ago, about 2,500 years ago, that's a long time ago, there was a person by the name of the Buddha. And he and his disciples would travel. This was in India. And they would travel throughout India to give teachings. And wherever they go, after a certain period of time, he became very, very famous. So lots of people will go. Sort of like, what's her name? The Taylor Swift. The Swifties, right? The Eras tour or whatever. What's the tour that's coming around, right? So wherever the Buddha and his disciples would go, people would flock to go and listen to him. Okay? Because he had a lot of good things to say. So where he would go, a lot of people would either provide him with space for him to stay, as he and his disciples. And so they were in this one place called Shotsuki. And there they were donated a monastery, actually. And so when the Buddha and his disciples were coming around, the people in the village, everybody was getting excited about it. And one of the practices that they would do is they would bring gifts to the Buddha. And one of the most precious gifts you can get at the time, do you know? Can you guess what would be a precious gift? What do you think? Yes? Nintendo! That would be a very precious gift. Yes, I agree with you. But they didn't have Nintendo back then. So they couldn't get Nintendo. What else might be a precious gift? No idea? Wisdom. Oh, that's a really good one. Yeah. How do you get wisdom? No. But that's a good guess. So, one of the most precious things back then was actually, see on the candle there? Light. Okay? Because it was very difficult for them to make fire back then. We didn't have lights that you could just snap and get. I like that Nintendo. But anyways, so people would bring all these very fancy lanterns to give as a gift. Okay? So in the monastery that the Buddha and his disciples were, people would line up to have an audience with the Buddha, and they would give different gifts. And many people brought these lanterns, okay, to provide light in the evening. Well, in this village, there was a mother and a daughter who were very, very poor. They had very little money, but yet they wanted to go see the Buddha. And they also wanted to give him something. So they thought, what can we do to give the Buddha? So the daughter came up with the idea. She had beautiful, flowing, long hair, a little longer than yours. And they decided, what we'll do is we'll cut our hair and we'll sell our hair. And with the money we make from that, we'll go and get him a lantern. So they did that. Both the mother and daughter cut off their hair, and they went and sold it, and they got some money, and they went to the lantern store. storekeeper looked at them and looked at the money and said, unfortunately, that's not that much money. And he said, I can't give you a lantern for that money. But he said, what I can do is I can give you this shell. And he gave them half a shell and had a little wick in it, and he put a little bit of kerosene in that. And he said, this is what I can give you for that amount. So the mother and daughter received that, and they took it to where the Buddha was at. And they were embarrassed when they got there because they saw all these very fancy lanterns. And they thought, oh, our meager offering of the shell, it's, embarrassing. But they took their turn and they got it line and they went up to the Buddha and they sheepishly provided the shell, and they were very embarrassed by it. But the Buddha, he received it with gratitude, just like he received every single other lantern, and he placed it amongst the other lanterns. Well, that evening, there was a great windstorm. Actually, this past Friday, we had a big windstorm here. Anyways, I'm getting trouble, right? But anyways, there was a great storm that evening. And over the course of the night, one by one, the lanterns started blowing out. Despite being very fancy lanterns, the lights started blowing out one by one. And in the morning, there was only one light that was still lit. Can you guess which light? Okay? Which light stayed lit? The shell, right? The one that the shell was on. And the Buddha commented on this. He said, this light was given with this true spirit of dana, selfless giving fully. And that's why this light stayed lit. So what this story is telling us about the sincerity of giving. Okay, when we could buy lots of very expensive things, but what's most important is a gift that's given from the heart. And so when we come and listen to the Dharma, we're learning about the heart and what's important to us. And one of the things that we learn about is our ancestors. Some people you may not have known, but they still play a very important part in your life. Okay? And you being here today is an expression of yourself giving sincerely of your heart. So thank you for being here, and go back to your seat now. So I'm going to just read a passage from the Amida Sutra that we just read. It's actually the very end of the Amida Sutra. And it says, Shariputra, sentient beings who hear of the land should aspire to be born there, for in that one place they will be able to meet such excellent persons of supreme virtue. And when we listen to these teachings, we should rejoice. And after rejoicing, then gently part. So this passage, as I mentioned, is from the Amida Sutra, the chant that we did right now. Now this morning, we've gathered here, of course, for the October monthly memorial service, but at the same time, October is the month in which we celebrate our national organization, the Jodo Shinshu Buddhist Temples of Canada, which was actually established in 1905. And the reason why we hold this in October is that the first service was said to have been in October. Reverend Senju Sasaki and his wife were sent from Japan, from the Honganji, and the first service, which was held actually in the dining hall of one of the local establishments, boarding houses. They converted that into a service hall, and they had their first service there. And so from that time on, the Jodo Shinshu of Canada has existed. And here in Steveston, actually, our first temple was built in 1928 at just south of the Royal Bank building on First Avenue, Moncton and First Avenue. In fact, the footprints of the original temple still exist. There's a dance studio, I believe it is right now, just next to the Royal Bank, south side of it. And that's where the first temple was built. But prior to that, in 1928, prior to that building, actually the Jodo Shinshu followers have been here in Stevenston for many years before. And what they used to do is there was an Atagi General Store that they rented out the second floor of the Atagi General Store, and the ministers would come from Vancouver to hold services here in Stevenston. There's also even record of the ingenuity of the members. They took a butsudan, very similar to the one that we have in our No Kotsudo, the Buddhist altar, and they jerry-rigged it with straps. And they actually carried it from member's house to member's house as they took turns in holding services at their houses. So today is a day in which we commemorate all those who have gone before us, not just here in Stevenston, but our pioneers who have allowed us to be here today to listen to the Dharma. Why is this so important? Well, for the past several months, I've actually had quite a busy schedule. Just to go over some of the things I've been involved with. In July, second week in July, I was in Toronto to help out with their Obon service before I came back here to conduct our Obon service. And then in August, I helped organize Vancouver Island Obon visitation, a 5-day tour in which we went to 6 different cemeteries. We stayed at 4 different hotels. And let me tell you, organizing a bus trip with 47 people, figuring out where to stay, where to eat. With 47 people, you can't just go to a restaurant and say, we're here, right? You have to pre-order everything. Setting up the schedule, where to go next, etc. It takes a lot of organizing. But fortunately, I had a wonderful committee who did a lot of the legwork, and so it wasn't that bad. So that was in the middle of August, and then the week after that, I actually went out to Tashmi. Everybody know where Tashmi is? It's up on the Hope Prince Highway, just off by Hope. They were holding an Obon service or ceremony there, so I went out there for that. And then in September, just a couple weeks ago now, we were out at Harrison Hot Springs for the BC Jodo Shinshu Buddhist Temple Federation Convention. And there were 86 of us who were out there for that. So, and then on top of that, this past week, we hosted here in Stevenston our National Ministerial Association meeting in conjunction with the National Jodo Shinshu Buddhist Temples of Canada National Board fall meeting. And so that was this past, just Wednesday and Thursday this week. So, all that has been going on top of our regular schedule here. So having gone through all that, I was just telling my wife that I think things should ease off now that all of this has passed. And my wife's kind of scoffed at me and said, yeah, I'd like to see that. Well, I'll believe it when I see it, she said. And in fact, just yesterday, I received an email from the son of Kei Kaminishi, Ed Kaminishi, who asked me, if you don't know, Kei Kaminishi was the last Asahi baseball player. And he got quite well known throughout, but their family and the Ikuta family have known each other for quite a while. But Ed, Kei's son, said to me, emailed me saying that his father had requested that I co-conduct his memorial service, which is in Kamloops. So I'll be going out to Kamloops again. Anyways, what I wanted to point out is that, we lead these very busy lives, and I'm sure I'm not alone. I'm sure many of you also have very busy schedules as well. But in the midst of all that, we gather here to gain balance, to regain equilibrium. When we gather here, our loved ones are calling us to come and sit and listen for a while, to come and share with those we may not have seen for a while, to come and listen to the Buddha Dharma. And the sutra that we just chanted today, the Amida Kyo, is a beautiful sutra that describes what we call Amida's Pure Land. And it's one of the sutras that the Buddha talked without being asked about anything. He felt it so important, so compelling to share of this Amida Buddha and the desires of this Buddha for a land of harmony, a land of peace. And there's a repeated theme in this Amida Sutra talking about the equanimity, the quality of all beings. And when you think about it, it's such nice to be able to listen to something that talks about harmony and peace. When we think of our world around us today, there's so much conflict, so much anger. And so to be able to come together to learn about peace, to learn about harmony, is something that is very important. And our ancestors, what they have done to strive throughout their lives so that we have this peace and harmony. Just this Friday morning, I was part of the ceremony at the Richmond City Center, in which they rededicated a cenotaph for the war veterans. And there was the inclusion of 2 Japanese Canadians who, Hikotaro Hikotaro Koyanagi and Kazuo Harada were the 2 soldiers in World War I who went from Steveston, and their names are now added to the cenotaph at Richmond Center, or at the City Hall. But when we gather here today, we are listening to that calling voice of the Buddha that talks of harmony and peace, that talks of a place in which we can receive this peace. And coming to the temple is a reminder of that. Coming to the temple brings us this solace, this peacefulness. And so I thank you for making the effort to be here with us, to not only remember our loved ones who passed on, but remind ourselves that through them, they are reminding us what is truly important in life. This harmony, this oneness, appreciating the preciousness of each and every moment, appreciating being with one another, appreciating remembering our loved ones. So at this time, if I can ask you again, as an expression of this, please join me as we put our hands together in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Oh, I forgot a very important part. During the ministers' meeting, we had a chanting session. We had an expert in the Department of Rituals and Chanting, and he's actually a minister from the States in Tacoma. And so as part of this, he led us in chanting the Amida Kyo that we just chanted today. But I'll give you an example of how he chanted, just to show you. Right? He went, Busada Amida Kyo, Nyoze Gamo, Ichiji Budai Shai, Gogi Jugi Dogu, Yodai Bigu Zenni Yagu. It was very, very fast. It was like twice as fast as we chant normally here. And after we did that, I asked him, why do you chant it so quickly? And he said, well, in the BCA in the States, they do one of 2 things. They either chant it very fast, he said, because none of the congregation chants along. So it's just the minister. So they chant very quickly. Or they only chant half of it. They'll split it up. And they'll do the first half one week, and they'll do the second half the next week. And I said, well, why do you do that? And he said, because the people in the States, they keep telling him it's too long. So I was very proud to say, in Canada, we chant the whole thing and we chant it together with everyone because it's important to be able to share with everyone. So if you think it's too long, just think of it this way. All those people that dedicated from 1928 on to come to the temple, we're spending maybe 20 minutes to acknowledge, to honor them. It's not too much, I think, to ask. So I'm glad that we chant the whole thing, and I'm glad you chant along together. So thank you.
We'll have the presentation of the offertory, please.
Please join me in that show. Namo Amidas, Namo Amidas, Namo Amidas, Namo Amidas.
We'll now have the Gatha Shinshu Shuka. For those who are able to stand, would you please do so? Please be seated. So this concludes the Shotsuki service for October. As Reverend Grant mentioned how busy he was, and I just want to confirm that he was exceptionally busy. I don't know how he was able to do everything, and because for a few of those things I was part of it, and I was exhausted. And Reverend Grant was the one that did all the digital work and organized everything, and I just walked away thinking, oh my gosh. So he was busy. I also really enjoy, personally, I really enjoy Reverend Grant's talks, and especially those to the children. And so when you come to any service and he starts talking to the service, I think I receive as much as the children do. And so when you come, please wholeheartedly think about everything that Reverend has to say. So again, thank you for coming. There are a number of activities that are coming up, but in particular, I think, Reverend Grant, perhaps I could ask you to speak about the movie night.
Yes, so we've been holding once a month movie nights, but this month actually is a very special movie. It's called the Zen Diary in English. The Japanese title actually is quite different. Tsuchi o Kurau 12 kagetsu. And if you translate the Japanese literally, it means eating off the land for 12 months, which is very different from Zen Diary. But it's about this, it's taken from a book of essays, and it's about this writer who lives in the Nagano prefecture, and he lives a very, very minimalistic lifestyle, yet there's such beauty and harmony in his daily life. And this movie beautifully displays this. And so, unfortunately, we had to pay for the license to show this, and so there is a $10 interest fee for it. But I highly recommend it. It has been played at a number of international film festivals, and the main actor, I believe, received Best Actor's role in one of these film festivals. So it's starring Sawada Kenji, who was a pop singer from the 70s and 80s, I believe. Some of you may have known him as Julie, as his popular name was. And then also Takako Matsu, who is also a famous actress. So if you're interested, October 25th, Friday, October 25th, we'll be having this special showing of this movie, Zen Diary. And I highly recommend if you have the opportunity, come out and join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Grant. There is tea in the foyer and a few goodies there as well. So thank you.
Don't forget to get your home meal and bring up the right home meal.
So